Okay, we have three agendas here tonight, so we're going to start out our first one on our public hearing. And so we have some zoning hearings that we're going to do. This is the second hearing on both of these. Both of these were had the first hearing at the Planning Commission back on April the 18th. And so as advertised, this is the second hearing on both of these. So item number one, Jeffrey Paul Edge Jr. requests a rezone from I or industrial to A1 for property located at 0 Westview Drive, Lafayette, Georgia. Tax parcel 0-473-032. First public hearing was on April the 18th, 2019 at the Planning Commission. On this property at Westview Drive, is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition? Anyone here in opposition of this? Okay, hearing none. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of this, we ask you to come up to the podium if you would like. You don't have to if you don't want to speak at all. If you have any additional comments or anything to add to this. Does anyone have anything to add on that one? If you would just please state your name for the record because we're recording.
My name is Jennifer Tater. I'm a real estate agent for Prime Realty. My broker was here at the last hearing, but he's been sick, and Jeffrey is out of town on some training for his work. But I just want to say that we asked for agricultural, but the only question was at the last hearing was about chicken houses, and we're willing to put in the deeds that there's to be no commercial chicken houses at all, and we're not asking them to not own chickens on their properties. They're 5+ acre tracts.
Okay.
So that's really the only question that anybody had, and I just want to clarify that there's going to be no commercial chicken houses or anything on this property.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else needs to or has a desire to speak on this issue, either for or against? Okay, we do have Philip Cantrell, who's our chairman of our Planning Commission. And Philip, you got any comments to add to this?
I'd just like to add that it was a full intent of the Planning and Zoning Commission for this area to be zoned into agriculture so that it could be built into family residence. There's a couple of large tracts of land on the plat that they have. It's 19, I think one of them is 19 acres, and a couple of them there, and we knew that those could be sold and put together, and then that would become a piece of property that would be large enough for a commercial chicken thing. And so the gentleman from the realty company assured us that they would restrict the deeds on the property so that couldn't happen when so if he restricts the deeds when they sell the property, that means the next owner can't change the what he's done. And so we would just request that they would restrict the deeds under those circumstances, that they property couldn't be sold and combined together and end up with a chicken farm.
Yeah, commercial chicken houses.
Commercial chicken houses, right.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay. We'll move to the second public hearing on this agenda. We have the Shirley family request a rezone from R1 to R2 for property located at 0 Roger Road in Rossville, Georgia. Tax parcel 0-173-003. As well, the first public hearing was on April the 18th at the Planning Commission. Is there anyone here that would like an opportunity to speak in opposition of this rezone request? Any opposition on this request? Okay, hearing none, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this request? I mean, if there's nothing new to add, you don't have to speak.
I can answer any questions if anybody has any questions.
Okay.
Glad to.
Okay. Again, we have Philip Cantrell here, our planning chairman. Philip, do you have any additional comments or any questions?
Nothing really. We did okay the rezone. A lot of what is going to happen there is going to be determined by the Environmental Health Department. So we didn't see a problem with the rezone. So it'll be the Health Department that'll take care of all the rest of the problem.
Okay. Anything additional to add?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. We will adjourn from that public hearing, and we'll move into our second public hearing that we have here tonight. So we'll call this to order. It is 6:06 PM on Thursday, May the 9th. So we do have one additional item on our public hearing. Ordinance number O-05-19, an ordinance to amend ordinance number R-017-17, creating a special district for the provision of public health facility and services, to amend the date for termination of the special district for other purposes. So I've asked Matt Williamson, our county legal representative, to read this ordinance and then speak on to the changes and what this is about.
Thank you, Commissioner. The Walker County Public Health Facilities and Services District is terminated forthwith, nunc pro tunc, to December 31st, 2018 for real property and April 1st, 2019 for pre-built manufactured housing. Accordingly, ordinance number R-017-17 is hereby amended as follows. Section 5, termination of special district. 5.1, this ordinance in the special district created shall terminate on December 31st, 2018 as relating to real property and April 1st, 2019 relating to pre-built manufactured housing, and no additional fees shall accrue after that time. Such termination shall occur by terms of this ordinance, and no further action shall be required by the sole commissioner to effectuate such termination. All fees, interest, and penalties that have accrued under this ordinance, as well as all efforts to enforce and collect, shall remain in full force and effect, and shall not otherwise be affected by the termination of the special district. And then there's a place for the sole commissioner's signature. The reason why this was worded this particular way was because there is a differential date of tax assessment on real property versus pre-built manufactured housing. And the intent is to make this special tax in the special district only applicable for 2 years. So in order to make that apply both to real property and pre-built manufactured housing, we had to distinguish those two dates. Otherwise, the real property owners would have paid twice, but those owning pre-built manufactured housing would not have paid twice. So that's the reason for the date differential. And the ordinance amends the original ordinance and creates a new sunset date for the original ordinance that corresponds to those date differentials, so that this public health facilities fee will end after 2 years rather than 3 years for all property owners in Walker County.
Yeah, thank you. So as always, any ordinance change, whether it be a new ordinance or an amendment to an ordinance, we advertise those in the local organ, being the Walker County Messenger. That's advertised, and we have 2 public hearings on those as well. So even in a position that we're in to eliminate a fee, we still need to go through the same legal process to give public notice and to have public comment for the record for people to be made aware of this through the proper channels. And so we want to give anyone at this time, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding to the elimination of the public health facility fee, which was enacted back in 2017 to settle the $8.7 million debt to Erlanger that was incurred in the previous administration. So we what we have collected at this point and what we are projecting to collect through the remainder of this year in that 2-year cycle will give us the funding needed to sunset this in 2 years and will prevent us from having to collect this fee the 3rd year. So simply put, this has saved all the taxpayers a third of what we originally thought was going to have to be assessed. So it's a reduction by 1/3 due to the collections coming in, and also the fact when we first did this back in August of 17, we had not reached a settlement with Erlanger, and so we felt like there potentially, due to the summary judgment order that we had, which was calling for legal fees and court costs and interest back several years, and then we knew we would probably have to finance this in some form or fashion with interest going forward, we were estimating that that could be in the sum of maybe an additional $2 million. And so fortunately, we were able to negotiate a settlement with Erlanger where they forgave all of that back accrual of court costs, interest, and attorney fees, and then they were also willing to finance that for 36 months going forward, interest-free. And so that saved the taxpayers of Walker County, we estimate, close to about $2 million. So that's one reason why we were able to reduce this sooner. And then also we had a higher collection percentage rate than we first thought we were going to have. Because we have been making quarterly payments on this due to the agreement of $650,000 per quarter. And we've been able to make all of those payments on time. We've had the positive cash flow. This is all restricted funds due to this being a special tax district. All these funds have to be for the elimination or for the use for public health facilities. And so it's a great day in Walker County to be able to report that we've reached this goal in 2 years and we'll be able to eliminate that third year. So any questions, comments, or concerns on this? Okay, good. All right, we will end that session and we will move over to our regular scheduled business meeting. So that's your third packet that you received tonight. So we'll call this to order. It is, it is 6:12 p.m. still on Thursday, May the 9th, 2019. Since this follows our regional public hearings, we've already had our pledge and invocation. You do have in your packet a copy of the minutes of our prior meeting, where we did have a special call meeting on the 18th due to a scheduling conflict. So we had a pretty short agenda then. So does anyone have any concerns or questions or comments about the minutes from that meeting? Hearing none, we'll sign those into the record. Okay. And we do have a proclamation that we're going to read tonight for our Senior Citizens Day. By the Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, a proclamation for Senior Citizen Day, whereas the U.S. Census Bureau estimates nearly 12,700 Walker County residents are age 65 or older. And whereas Walker County recognizes the impact and contribution made by older adults to our community, and whereas May is Older American Month in the state of Georgia, and residents are encouraged to connect, create, and contribute, and whereas older adults are encouraged to connect with friends, families, and services that supports participation created by engaging in activities that promote learning, health, and personal enrichment, and contribute time, talent, and life experiences to benefit others. And whereas Walker County supports organizations like North Georgia Community Action, which operates senior life centers in Chickamauga and Lafayette to assist older Americans with daily nutritional need, health education, and general wellness. And whereas Walker County desires to recognize and honor the older adults in our community. Therefore, I, Shannon Whitfield, Sole Commissioner of Walker County, Georgia, do hereby proclaim May 15th as Senior Citizen Day in Walker County, Georgia. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Walker County to fix the 9th day of May 2019. So we'll sign this proclamation for the record. And next Wednesday, the 15th, is our Senior Citizen Day at our Civic Center. So all of our seniors age 65 and up can come for a free meal and some entertainment. And I think there's even going to be a little bingo toward the end. Yeah, a little bingo. And we will be reading this again and presenting this at Senior Citizens Day and taking part in those celebrations. Okay, we have a memorandum of understanding with the Family Crisis Center. This is a collaboration with all of the local cities and other counties and law enforcement. This is a normal course of business that they need for us to validate on an annual basis our continued support to the Family Crisis Center. So this is just a simple memorandum of understanding that you can read through. But this has been something that's been in place probably a couple of decades. And they do an outstanding job, and we want to continue that support for that organization. So we're going to sign this memorandum of understanding into our record. All right, then we have our monthly statistic report, and Joe got this up on the website and Facebook a few days ago, so some of you may have already seen that a few days ago, but this just tries to give everyone in our community a little bit of a snapshot of some of the positive things that are going on in our county and see where there's areas of need. One of those areas being our animal shelter. We're always looking for people to adopt animals or return those to the rightful owner. And we've had a real focus over the last year and a half or so to reduce the number of animals that we have to euthanize. So we've changed that process and been very successful with that modification. And so we haven't had to euthanize any animals the last 2 months. We've only had to euthanize a total of 5 for this year. So that's down substantially, and that program's working for us. Our code enforcement, they are doing street by street, door by door compliance checks. So in the month of April, there's 397 that were in compliance. There was 38 citations or violations of different property, and there was 7 cases closed, which means those properties were brought into compliance. Our fire department had an extremely busy month in April. They were at 539 calls versus 495 coming off the month of March. So they very likely could hit over 6,000 calls responded to this year. Compared to 2016 of just under 3,500 calls. So a lot of those calls are medical related calls and life safety calls. So those are very important calls to respond to. Smoke alarm installations, they continue to do a fantastic job of trying to get smoke alarms in every resident in Walker County. They did 74 in March and 92 in April. That's 397 through April versus 228 for the whole year last year, so we've already almost doubled what we did last year, and they really knocked it out of the park compared to 2017 on an annual basis. There was only 21, so we had 5 fire fatalities last year in residential dwellings, and our goal is this year to have 0, and getting smoke alarms in every resident in Walker County will help obtain that goal. Things are still hopping at Mountain Cove Farms. They had a couple of great months. March it was 96, April it was 68. Meant to pull the numbers year to date, but they're way up year to date. Well on pace to have probably over 1,000 stays down there this year. Single family home construction, when the rain stopped and contractors were able to get moving, there was 12 permits pulled for single family home constructions in Walker County in just the month of April alone. Our media impression stories, there was 60 that were captured. We added 173 new Facebook followers. Joe was successful in getting 54 unique Facebook posts made onto our county Facebook page. We had an outstanding month on number of visitors to our website, which I think a lot of that's contributed to the good news about the public health fee being eliminated, and also Joe's adding to our website pretty much on a daily basis of keeping the content updated, the latest information, and it's well utilized at over 41,000 visits just in the month of April. New subscribers to our email that we do once a month, 57. Our transit system, more people getting out in the month of April with 2,241 transit trips in the month of April. So great report for that month. And also I've got Hank Gilly here, and we're talking about statistical information and data. Our Tire Amnesty Day back 2 Saturdays ago was the largest we've had in 3 years. There was 8,933 tires that was brought to the landfill and offloaded between the hours of 8 and 3. And so there was about 629 29 vehicles that brought in 8,933 tires, and then you had another 525 or so go to the regular landfill operation.
Well, that day we had 275 regular
Oh,
customers.
275 regular customers, okay.
So we had about 800 people on the land, visiting the landfill on Saturday.
Yeah, so they had about 800 unique vehicles that come and brought stuff. So I want to say thank you to all of our citizens in Walker County for responding and being part of the solution of cleaning our county up and getting these tires. And it just continues to amaze me, the people that are willing to get in the woods, get in the ditches, get in the creeks, get out in the fields and pull these tires out. And so we had a good number of people that we were in contact with that said, hey, I know there's some back down here in the creek, I'm going to go pull them out. Or there's some down here in the ditch, I'm going to go pull those out. And so that's the community buy-in and involvement, and to get over 600 vehicles to come down, and many had to wait in line. And so that just shows the commitment to our community to make our community better and to clean up. So hats off to all of our citizens in Walker County, and we hope to be able to have another Amnesty Day very soon. Okay, item number 4 was the Jeffrey Paul Edge Jr. request for rezone from industrial to Ag 1 for property located at Westview Drive, Lafayette, Georgia, tax parcel 0-473-032. This was approved at the last Planning Commission. I'm going to go ahead and grant this approval, but we do request for the record that they do put those restrictions on the deed to make sure there's not commercial chicken houses on the property. Okay. Okay. And actually, under old business is our next zoning. The reason that was put under old business, this was on our agenda last time, but we tabled it because there was some delays hearing that at the Planning Commission. And so this is on the Sherrill property, rezone from R1 to R2 for property located at 0 Rogers Road, Rossville, Georgia, tax parcel 0-173-003. Hearing no opposition or complaints against this, and going off the recommendation of the Planning Commission, we're going to approve this as the final decision per the direction of the Planning Commission, so we'll approve this request. That adjourns our regular scheduled meeting, and always at our end of our meetings, we do allow up to 5 minutes for any resident that would like to come forward and address the staff. Has any public comments that's related to our county. We can't fix the national or international problems, but anything that you wish to speak about as far as a county concern issue, positive or negative comment, we will take those at this time. If you'd come to the podium, so anyone like to speak tonight?
I can't let you do that.
Oh, I know. Tell us who you are. I don't know if we remember.
With the smoke. Okay, we're stopping the facilities and health thing.
Yes.
My question is, have we paid them? Are
Not
we
yet.
even?
No, we have not dispersed those funds yet.
So we're gonna dribble it out, or are you gonna pay them in lump sum?
We're gonna have a conversation with them and see what best benefits our citizens.
Okay, but we do have the money to pay it off.
Yes.
That's all I
We're in
can
good
say.
shape. All right, good question. Anything else? All right, well, again, thank all of y'all for coming. This was a good, quick meeting. We got done in less than 30 minutes, so still daylight. Everybody can hopefully get home safe in the daylight. So we'll be back here in 2 weeks, and y'all have a safe journey home. Thank you.
Thank you.